Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video we are going to understand this Leetcode problem number 3212, count submatrices with the equal frequency of x and y. So welcome back. Let's try to understand how to implement this type of problem and what are the concept we have in counting the submatrices with the equal number of frequency that have x and y. So have you ever solved a matrix problem and felt confident and still got the wrong answer, right? If this happened to you, right, that's exactly what happens in this problem. Okay, so this problem looks like a standard prefix sum questions, but there is a hidden constraints that changes everything. So if you miss it, your solution will be completely wrong. So how we have fixed that, and we'll understand how to solve this type of problem. Okay, so very first, you have what you have given. See, you have given two things. The grid you have given, right? Let me show you the example first. So what is saying that we have given a matrix grid where grid at I and j means a cell contains either x, y or a dot. Okay, x, y or a dot. Return the number of submatrices that contains the grid at 0 0 and equal frequency of x and y and at least 1x. Okay, right? So what we have given grid with the value x, y or dot, right? So three things we have given. Our task is to count how many submatrices that we have, right? Let's suppose equal number of x and y we can say, and it contains at least one x, right? That is also it is saying at least one x should be or equal number of x and y. Okay, and the most important thing is it should start from where? It should start from the grid 0 0 or origin 0 0. So that line is the game changer. Okay, so we should understand what are the things it is saying. We have to count the submatrices that have equal number of x and y, right? And it contains, right, at least only one x, right? And there is very important thing that we should understand, that very most importantly we can say is it must start from 0 0. Okay, this is what we have. So let's now think about that. If this is the thing we have given in this grid, let's suppose. Okay, so the most people think, let me find all the submatrices with equal number of x and y. Okay, so they apply row compression. Let's suppose we'll say x, y, and this dot will go, so it will keep counting. So they apply row compression or the prefix sum or hash map, and boom, you will get the wrong answer there. Okay, so you should not try that one, either the row compression, prefix sum or hash map. In all these cases you will definitely get the wrong answer. Okay, because they are counting submatrices from where the problem wants submatrices should start from 0 0, right? As you can see here, it is saying, right, it starts from the grid cell 0 0. Okay, so all the submatrices that start from 0 0, we have to count that, right? We have to count the submatrices. So let's simplify this problem. Okay, how to implement this type of problem. So let's think that we should convert. Okay, the very first thing we have given x. So if we will convert x in +1, okay, then we convert y in -1, right? It means the count will be equal if x comes +1, y comes -1. Third thing we have is a dot, right? If the dot comes, let's consider as a 0. So if we'll convert these three things, right, with these +1, -1 and 0, x into +1, y into -1 and dot into 0, these three conversion. Now the problem will say, what the problem will say, that it become very simple. Now the problem become very simple, right? What the problem becomes, right? What the problem becomes, it will say now find submatrices starting at what, 0 0. Only this condition left, with sum is 0 and at least 1 plus 1. Okay, now the question is very simple, right? Because we have converted. If we have converted, the problem becomes very simple. Find the matrices that starting at 0 0 with sum equal to 0. Okay, sum equal to 0 and at least 1 plus 1 means at least 1x, right? So we'll say at least 1 plus 1. So now let's understand this given example we have, right? So if we'll convert this into the +1, -1 and 0, right, that we talked about, right? So what this matrix will become? Okay, let's make the matrix here. So this is our matrix we have and 6 cells we have, correct? So now this x will become +1, this y will become -1 and dot will become 0. Similarly y we have, so -1 and this is 0 and this is also 0, correct? This is the matrix. So now we build the prefix sum, right? So what we have to do, with each cells we have given, go I and j, and that will represents the matrix from 0 0 to ij, right? So let's think that the very first is 0 0. Is it starting the cell, right? Submit is from 0 0. So we'll say actually here the sum is 1, right? If the sum is starting from 1, means it is not valid one, because the submatrices should start from 0 0 and it is not starting because it is having +1. It should start from 0 0. Okay, its value is 1. Now we'll check with the 0 1, means we are talking about this another next cell, right? What is the sum? So we'll say sum is 0. It means what? It means this is valid. Similarly, we'll say from 0 to 0 3, no, not 0 3, sorry, 0 1, 1 0 will happen, right? 1 0, then the next cell will be 1 1 and then 1 2, correct? All these cells will become. Now let's give the value. So for 0 2, the sum is 0. For 1 0, the sum will also be 0. This 1 2, 1 1 0 and this 1 2 0, means all these sums are valid. Okay, only the very first, that we know that each cells, right, it in the submatrices should start from 0 0 to ij, but that is not happening. But wait, we also need at least 1x, right? We need at least 1x. So what we need to do? We need at least, what we need? At least 1x, we can say, or +1, correct? So we track the count separately and we'll say, okay, there is only 1 plus 1, right? And that is already there, right? So we'll say, okay, means we have to find, or we have to track, we can say. So we have already tracked the x count, right? So how many x count is there? There is only one, right? And so what we will say, the final answer is answer 3, right? Because we have to check corresponding this way, right? We have to, because we have to find the number of x, how the number of x will get counted, right? So all the x should be at least one time, right? So we have to convert all these, right? So we'll say, okay, the x is coming one time, right? So we'll check all the submatrices, possible submatrices, right? The very first thing that you will take itself as a one count, right? As this count, you can take like this count, right? And you can take the this count, or you can say you already have this one, right? So let me show you. Already you have is this matrix, we can say these are the submatrices. You can check, and each contains how many? 1x it contains, correct? And so we'll say that total now count is 3, because we have tracked all of this. Okay, understand? So if you talk about the intuition, guys, this is not a gender submatrix problem. This is a prefix, what can you call prefix matrix problem, right? If this is a prefix matrix problem, means instead of checking all the rectangles, we only need to check what? The rectangles that start from 0 0, right? And that reduces the complexity very good. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to maintain two matrices, prefix matrix and x count matrix. Two things you have to maintain. Okay, so once you maintain these two matrices, right, this matrix and x count matrix, you have to maintain. Okay, once you maintain these two matrices, right, then for each cell, right, we have to calculate the sum that start from 0 0 cells, right? And you will also count x. Okay, so you have to calculate sum from 0 0 and you have to count the x, right? So then you simply will check if sum is equal to 0, right? If sum is we'll say if sum is equal to 0, it means we have to check another condition, that x count. What is the x count? If x count is greater than 0, means count plus will happen. Okay, so this is the condition that we should talk about, right? And in this case, the count will get increased, and finally will return the count, right? What did I say? Very first, we have to maintain the prefix matrix and the x count matrix, correct? And for each cell, what you need to do, you have to check that the sum from 0 0 should calculate, means calculate sum from 0 0, and another thing is to calculate x count. Okay, x count we have to calculate. In this case, we'll simply check that if sum is equal to 0 and x count is greater than 0, so we'll increase count plus, and that's it. Let's understand the code so you will understand clearly. So the very first thing what you need to do, guys, you know that you have to maintain two things, the prefix sum, right? And another thing is x count matrix, right? So you will build from, we have given the grid, and from there we will create the prefix sum and the x count. Okay, then you know that we, for each cell, right, for each cell, if you want to go, you have to traverse like this. So you need two things, the sum from the 0 0, and you will calculate x count, right? So you will check, you will count the x count, so you will get the x count. So what you need to do, you will check if the grid contains x or the grid contains y. If it contains x, it means 1, or y, then it is -1, right? Like this. and we are also checking is x 0. If initially 0, if it is 1, x is 0 or 1, that we will check. Okay, then for each time we need to calculate the sum, right? So prefix sum we have and the x count we have, so you will keep checking. If I is greater than 0, you will check what? Prefix ij, means I minus 1 and j. So the prefix will be get added and x count will also get added like this. Okay, from the count. If j is greater than 0, in this case also you will see plus 1 plus you will get added on the count. When I is greater than 0 and j is greater than 0, in that case prefix sum, what will happen? Minus prefix I minus 1 j minus 1, means 1 minus it will go, right? And for this count also will go 1 minus. So basically we will calculate the sum, right, for both, right, prefix sum and the basically we maintain the prefix sum and the x count like this. Okay, so three cases will happen: I is greater than 0, j is greater than 0, or if I and j both are greater than 0. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, yeah. So basically if you talk about this prefix and the x count, right, what we are doing actually, this prefix, it will do the sum of the value from 00 to the cell ij, means x, if there is x is there, right? So if x is there, then we are just saying it should be plus 1. If it is y, it is the value will become minus 1, right? If dot is there, then that will be 0, so we can ignore for that, right, because that is not required. Similarly, the x count will do the same thing, right? Will x count at ij will store count of x from 00. So we will check if this is x, so it will keep storing the value as a 1, right? Number of count we are going to find that like that. So we'll store directly x count here. So if you see, basically we want the prefix at ij is sum of the value from 00. If x is there, will allowing their value is 1 or minus 1. If count is there, so x count we will keep adding here. Now we have here, right? So basically this is the goal of the code, that at every I and j cell, at every cell, we can say we want rectangle from 00 to the cell, given cell ij, we can say that. Okay, so very first what we are doing here, we are start with the current cell, and the current cell having I and j, it will give the value and the x count, right? So only current cell value we will get, right? So every cell, if x is there, it will store a plus 1, otherwise, or plus 1 for the x we will get, right? And the x count will also get plus 1, right? Then we'll check the top contribution. What is the top contribution? Means I is greater than 0. It means we have to add the top contribution. Top contribution we will add like this, correct? Where it means where we add everything above, right? So we'll keep adding both. Okay, means basically I minus 1 means it will come from where? I minus 1 is 1 down, right? And j will be the next. So j ignore, I minus 1 is 1 down, right? Means we have to add everything above. Okay, means we have to go from down to up, right? Then we need to include the top rectangle plus the current cells. So let's suppose this is our current cell, right? And from the top we can get like this. So you will add all of them, top rectangle plus the current cells you will add. So this is your top contribution that you will add. Then you will have the we have to add the left contribution, right? Where you will check, okay, if j is greater than 0, right, then you will add in the current, right, you will add everything left side. Okay, so you will get from the left side j minus 1 you will get from the current one. Okay, so from you will add everything left side like this. Okay, as a plus 1 you will do. So this is your, let's suppose this is I and j minus 1, right, to the ij. Okay, we'll keep adding all the left side into here in the current cell. So we include the left rectangle plus the current cell, we can say that. Okay, in the last, what we are doing, we want to remove the double count if you have counted. So what we need to do, we have the prefix, we'll just remove the we'll subtract. So why we are subtracting here? Because we added overlap twice, right? So if we have overlapped twice, so we have to do minus 1 also. So the overlap gives you the problem when we add top and left, because we have added the top and the left, right? So this overlap happens. Okay, in that case we have to subtract. So when we added the top and left one, right, so we counted the region twice, right? Let's suppose we are going from 0 0 to I minus 1 and j minus 1, right? Because let's suppose this is your 0 0, right, and this is I minus 1 j minus 1, right, like that. So if we are going from 0 0 to I minus j minus 1, means we counted the region twice, so we have to subtract it. Let me show how to draw this feature. So what I'm trying to do, so let's think that we have given these cells, right? So if we'll convert into these 4 directions, right, so what we will say, we'll say like this. So this is your top, right, we know that, and this is your left, correct, left, okay, left, and this is your current. So if this is your current, right, so how will you add this? So we have the top and left block, which is included twice, right? So we have to subtract it once, correct, because we are doing that. And that is why if you come down, I'll show you what we will do further. We have a very standard formula. Okay, so I can say there only, but it's okay. Okay, so very standard, very simple formula is what? So what is the simple formula? We know that if, let me clean it first. If we want to count what is 2D standard 2D prefix sum, right? Prefix sum formula, if you remember, very simple. If we want to find the prefix, right, let's call it I and j. Okay, so if you want to find this, how you will find that? The very first, what the current value? If you know the current value, then you will add. What you will add? The prefix at I minus 1 and j. Then what you will add? You will say prefix at I and j minus 1, correct? Then what you will add? You will add prefix at I minus 1 and j minus 1, right? So these 3 things you will do to calculate any prefix value, correct? Because in our case, what we have let's call +1, -1, -1 and 0, like this. This is our grid we have, correct? This is our grid we have. So if this concrete example that contains the grid, right, +1, -1, -1 and 0, right, so it's easy to compute any value, correct? So let's suppose that if we want to count this, compute 1 1, this is our 1 1, right? If we are talking about this is 1 1, right? So how will you compute? The very first, that the value itself is 0, it is 0. Then I'm talking about here, it is 0. Then this is your top, I minus 1 is 0, we can say, and this j is 1. So what you will get here? You will also get here 0, right? Then the prefix I and j, it means we are talking about the left, means I is 1, j minus 1 is 0, so it is also giving 0, right? Then the prefix I minus 1, j minus 1, so both is 0 0, so this is called overlap. Understand? So this is called overlap, because we are adding overlap twice, right? And that is why we have to subtract it. If you see I minus 1, j minus 1, we are subtracting. Understand? Because the formula says that if this is our plus 1 minus 1 minus 1 0, right, and we want to compute for this one 1 1 1, right? So the prefix sum formula we already knows that, give me 1 second, already knows that if we want to calculate 1 1, right, so the very first, that the current value is 0, that we have seen, then I minus 1, j minus 1. So this is nothing but our top left and the overlap one. This is your top, this is your left, right, and this is overlap one. So overlap one is adding 2 times. So when you are adding 2 times, you have to subtract here, right? So that is why you are subtracting. Okay. So if you want to calculate all of these, right, let's say the 0 0 0, and for the overlap you will do the minus 1. So what you will get? You will get the minus 1, right? So that matches actually if you do this sum, you will get minus 1. The actual sum is also minus 1, right? So are you understanding or not? And the same we will do the count for the prefix count, x count also. So is the value will become what? Is x become, right, that we have already taken. Similarly, we are doing the everything for that, because it is top down, top left and overlap. So we are doing the same thing for the x count also. Okay, so this is why it becomes very powerful concept, and I hope you understand. So further, you just need to check the matrix, right, submatrix. So you will say, okay, I is 0. You have to go to all the cells. You will check if the prefix count is equal to 0. If the sum is 0 and the x count is greater than 0, you will just increase the count, means the result count you will increase, and finally will return the result count. So that's all I have in this video, guys. In case if you are struggling with anything, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. And in case you are learning anything, preparing for any product based companies, and you want to become a full stack developer, you can join my online classes. So you can reach out to me through the WhatsApp, and let's join the online classes for the structured web learning. Thank you so much for watching this video. In case you have any doubt, please ping me in the comment box.